Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate help.
This is why, of course, she's on The View and not working for the most powerful man in the world, because Karoline would wipe the floor with you bitter banshees any day.
Joe Biden knows how to do this.
Yes.
He knows how to do this. He's quite good at this. And you know, you can't refute anything with him because he just, when I say him, I mean...
He rambles.
Trump.
Yeah.
He tends to just...
But can I mention one thing?
A few days ago, we brought you the intense verbal clash between the new White House press secretary Karoline Leavitt and Whoopi Goldberg. But what we didn't get a chance to show you thanks to time limits were the full details of the encounter and those jaw-dropping reactions, so get ready because what you're about to see will leave you stunned. And hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to catch more unforgettable moments like this.
I too am a working mom and always have been. I've been a professional woman since I graduated from college or law school. But now there's, I think, a good thing, which is like the restoration of valuing so-called traditional, moms, and that's great. The women who take care of their kids full time. Most of my best friends are doing exactly that. But it seems like in the right, there's like a bit of a shift toward like, you can't do what Karoline's doing. That's actually like an unsafe or a dangerous or a bad choice for families, for children, which I reject wholesale, but you hear it more and more.
Yeah.
Do you hear that? And what do you think?
Right off the bat, the woke mob did what it does best, lose its mind and try to mom shame her, because apparently if you dare outwit the self-proclaimed queen of woke Whoopi Goldberg, her army of minions will swoop in like Twitter trolls on a viral hashtag, and with the woke brigade, nothing. And I mean nothing is off limits. Not your arguments, not your character, and certainly not your family. So what was their brilliant comeback after Leavitt verbally suplexed Goldberg on national TV? Did they challenge her? Facts or professionalism? Nope. They went full 1950s and asked why a mother of a 7-month-old was even working. Yes, folks, the same crowd that screams women can do it all suddenly hit pause and decided this particular working mom had crossed the line. Apparently, if you embarrass a daytime talk show host, you're supposed to go home, bake cookies, and reflect on your life choices. Hypocrisy at its finest. Self-awareness. Nowhere to be found.
I would reject that it's a bad choice. Is it a tough choice? Absolutely. You know, as a mother, you want to be with your child 24/7. You have that maternal instinct.
27.
Yeah. Not all the time. Well, right now, yes, because he's 7 months and just squishy and lovable, but I'm sure that will change. But you know, you do have that maternal instinct, but also recognizing like, I'm doing this work for my son and for all children to make this country better. And it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Honestly, Karoline is making some solid points, and I have no idea why people are hating on a hardworking mother in the first place. Let's see what she has to say next.
Also it's temporary, right? In 4 years, my son will be 4 years old and the president will no longer be at the White House. And then I'll move on and do something else. But, you know, this chaos of 24/7 work is a temporary matter. And that's what at least I tell myself to get through these very long and hard days. But I would reject that you can't be a good mom and be good at your job. I think you can do both. It certainly it's not for everybody. And it takes a lot of work and will and faith and prayer. And it's hard, but it can be done. And, you know, I would...
And just like that, Karoline Leavitt effortlessly smashes the woke outrage like swatting away a fly with a sledgehammer. She calmly drops what should be common sense. Yes, it's totally possible to balance motherhood and a career without having to sacrifice one for the other. Groundbreaking. Right? Someone call the think tanks. But here's where Leavitt really flips the script. She unapologetically embraces traditional values, admitting that juggling work and raising a child is tough and not every woman is cut out for it. Shocking. I know a woman actually daring to say, hey, my lifestyle isn't one size fits all. Unlike the left's you can have it all or you've failed feminism. Mantra Leavitt offers a more mature perspective. She gracefully points out that women who choose full-time motherhood deserve respect, not condescension. Because believe it or not, nurturing the next generation is just as valuable as climbing the corporate ladder in the end. Leavitt doesn't just win the argument. She lays bare the left's hypocrisy for what it truly is, performative empowerment with of mom shaming. But if you thought the left couldn't sink any lower, they managed to surprise you with a brand new rock-bottom conspiracy theorists.
I mean, I gotta ask you, because they said it, are you aware of any plots from Elon Musk to push President Trump down the stairs?
Absolutely not. Let me be unequivocally clear about that. And watching this clip, I couldn't help but think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists. But they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years. They likened President Trump to Hitler. They have mocked him. They have shamed him. They have lied about him consistently on their show. And it was a joy to watch them on November the 6th when they realized that tens of millions of Americans do not listen to the lies that they have spewed. These women are completely out of touch with reality.
Shouting on a street corner with a cardboard sign and their latest jaw-dropper of a theory brace yourself. Apparently Elon Musk, the guy who's busy launching rockets and revolutionizing transportation, has secretly hatched a plot to take down Trump by pushing him down the stairs. Yes, really, because nothing says billionaire master, plan like schoolyard tactics, and leading this intellectual crusade none other than The View's finest. The daytime talk show harpies who've somehow convinced themselves they're running a congressional committee from their coffee table. Why? Because Leavitt had the audacity to destroy their queen bee, and now they want their pound of flesh, so who better to target than Leavitt's boss Donald Trump and his buddy Elon Musk? It's like watching satire write itself, but Karoline Leavitt isn't about to. Let that nonsense slide. She hit back with a few choice words that didn't just debunk the lunacy. They had the conspiracy crowd scrambling to cook up their next half-baked theory next.
A lot of women are preparing themselves for the impact of the incoming administration, which has led to this growing mantra from male right-wing incels. Your body, my choice. Say that to my face.
Never one to back down easily, Whoopi Goldberg gathered what little courage she had left to take another swing at Karoline Leavitt. Though of course it was indirect, even she knows the kind of verbal obliteration that awaits anyone foolish enough to challenge Leavitt head-on, so instead of confronting Leavitt directly, Goldberg took the coward's route. She turned her sights on Trump, and that's when she did the unthinkable right. There on national television, Goldberg spat after uttering Trump's name like a cartoon villain tasting defeat for the first time. Classy, right? Because nothing screams intellectual rebuttal like spitting on cue. Well, Leavitt didn't let that one slide. She fired back with the precision of a surgeon and the force of a freight train. This is what passes for debate now, Leavitt. Scoffed, when you can't win on facts, you resort to playground antics. Imagine being so triggered by one man's name that you start spitting like a toddler refusing broccoli. It's beyond embarrassing. No wonder daytime TV ratings are crashing, and she didn't stop there. Leavitt called out the hypocrisy loud and clear. These are the same people preaching civility and respect. Yet here they are turning ABC into a slapstick comedy show. By the time Leavitt was done, Goldberg's bold move looked less like defiance and more like desperation. The internet took notice. Memes flooded in faster than The View's producers could. Hit the commercial break. Many who witnessed the heated exchange threw their support behind the White House press secretary. One user posted, "These women are going to have to hide. At some point, I wouldn't feel comfortable walking down the street if I were any of them." Others pointed out that Goldberg spat in the face of all Americans who voted for Trump. One commented literally, "She spat on the face of Trump supporters. That's half the American people." Some even thought Whoopi's antics were just a ploy to grab more views. As one person wrote, "I'm convinced they pay her extra to act fool."
You must have really wrestled with how you were going to meet the high bar set by Karine Jean-Pierre. Was that... Sorry. Was that out loud? No, she was terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how has your approach differed, would you say?
I think it's vastly different. And if you ask people, even in the legacy media, even the Trump haters, they will tell you the approach has been much different. Not just for me, but
They
the
admit that
entire
to you.
White House. Oh, absolutely. They come in my office every day and they'll admit that off the record.
Oh.
Maybe not on the record, but they will say they appreciate the access and the transparency and the preparation that goes into my briefings and everybody on our team.
Now I'll admit I'm getting a bit off track here. But did Karoline Leavitt just expose the legacy media and Trump haters in one swift move? Because this part is pure gold. Think about it. These are the same people who've pounced on Leavitt every chance they get, from questioning her credentials to mom shaming her. The woke journalists have practically made it their side hustle to drag her at every turn if Leavitt even breathes wrong. There's an op-ed about it within the hour, but here's where it gets juicy off camera when the outrage is switched off and the blue check. Mark bravado fades. These very same critics are reportedly sneaking into Litt's office to congratulate her. Yes, you heard that right. They're privately thanking her for the media access they couldn't get under Biden's press team, so let's get this straight. Publicly, they're painting her as some right-wing villain. Privately, they're all smiles, handshakes, and whispering thanks for actually doing your job. You literally can't make this stuff up. But honestly, should anyone be surprised, hypocrisy has practically become a job requirement on the left. It's not just The View. It's the entire media ecosystem pretending to fight the dragon while secretly feeding it scraps under the table in Leavitt. She's just standing there, seat in hand, watching the whole charade unravel.
According to an IG report from the Social Security Administration, there was $71 billion worth of fraud in one single fiscal year that we know about. And so that is a lot of fraud, Peter.
To be clear, that $71 billion was from 2015 to 2022, so it wasn't in just one year. And it was
$71 billion.
But it wasn't in one year, just over multiple years, from 2015 to 2022.
So are you defending $71 billion in fraud, Peter? That's a lot of money. Why is the media so against cutting waste, fraud, and abuse from the government? I don't get it.
I just want to ask a question.
We won't be deterred. We will not be deterred from people like you. And
how do you prepare? Because you can't know everything, and you could get asked anything. And unlike Karine Jean-Pierre, you're not out there reading and furiously flipping through your tabs to try to find an answer somebody else has written for you. So how are you preparing?
So I did prepare a binder for the first briefing. My great assistant, Keegan, put it together. And then I showed up to work, and it was like this thick. And I was like, I can't even move this. I can't use this. It was too cumbersome for my brain and the way I learn and think and study to have that. It felt like added weight. And I said, I want to just go in there and speak from my mind and from my heart.
Like your boss.
Like my boss.